All right, final segment of the SI Sooners podcast. Time for a weekly segment with the Groves brothers. We call it the Groves Bros. Tanner and Jacob Groves join the SI Sooners podcast every Wednesday, exclusively thanks to our good friends at Trade Pros. If you need service, maintenance, or if you just got heating or air issues of any kind, just call Trade Pros 405 639 9991. They're from Oklahoma. They work in Oklahoma. They live in Oklahoma, and they'll get you guys taken care of. Tanner, Jacob, you guys are in Kansas City right now at the hotel. You had a
Right.
big practice today. So let's do it. Let's give the folks some insight about the team. How was practice? How do you think the guys are responding to finishing, this regular season on a 3-game winning streak? All that. How's it going right now?
Oh man, I think we're feeling pretty good right now. We've had a lot of really good practices the last 2 weeks, just leading up to the last 3 games in regular season, and we won those three. We're feeling good right now. We've got a little momentum behind us, and we've been really locked in practice, just working hard. And from what I can tell, I think that the guys are all ready to go, and we're looking good right now. And I think that everyone always says anything can happen, but I think that we're playing some of our best basketball right now, and I think that's what matters this time of year. And so I'm really excited for the game coming up, and I like the momentum we're bringing in right now.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Tanner said it. We've had a great past couple days of practice, and then we get an opportunity to shoot around in the T-Mobile Center tomorrow. And so that'll be fun. Just kind of get the lay of the land and get some shots up in the arena on the court and get used to that. And so that'll be cool. But yeah, we've done a great job. I mean, I think it's great having a couple more more so days, like 4 days before your next game, rather than a 2 or 3 day turnaround like we've had all season. And so it's really allowing us to kind of fall into the scout and just be intentional on what we're doing every practice and come to compete and just kind of make sure that we all have a good understanding of what Baylor's going to do Thursday night. And so we've had a great week, and we got obviously practice tomorrow, and then we got walkthroughs and stuff like that too, just kind of fine tuning some things, getting dialed in. And so we're definitely ready. I mean, I think just like Tanner said, we're playing some of our best basketball. We kind of got a little momentum behind us. We won the past 3, and so we're really excited to play Thursday night.
We talked to Jordan Goldwire on Tuesday, and he kind of talked about this feeling that you guys knew these last 3 games, you needed to get all 3 of those games. I kind of want to ask you guys, how familiar is that from your perspective, coming from even a year ago, right? Going through the Big Sky tournament, like that's a situation where you need to win all of those games. Now you come to this, probably need to win at least one. Feel real good if you can grab 2. Is that something that you can kind of carry over, that experience of you're almost pressed because you got to win these games?
Yeah, I mean, I think a little bit. I think the Big Sky, regular season didn't really matter as much, and it really just came down to who's playing their best basketball come conference tournament time. And I think last year our team that Jake and I were on were in a really similar situation. We felt we were the best team in the league for sure, but ended up I think grabbing the 3 seed in our conference, and then ended up just handedly winning all our games in the conference tournament. But from the team's perspective, we knew that we need to win these 3 games. There's 3 games we need to win. If we lose any one of them, then we have no shot and our season's over. And so it's similar. We're in a similar. Even going back a few games ago, we were in that same situation. It's like we need to finish out the season winning these 3 games, or else our postseason chances are low unless we can win the conference tournament. And so we were able to put ourselves in a great position, and now we're still kind of in that position, and we got to get 1 or 2, and we have no doubt that we can do that. I think, like I said, it comes down to playing your best basketball at this time of year, and I think the guys are ready to go, and I think we're kind of locked in right now.
Yeah, just it's funny because obviously we talk about it all the time in the locker room. I mean, we're always talking about how we're obviously playing to keep our tournament hopes alive, and so when you're playing with something on the line like that, I mean, I think it gets real for a lot of the guys, and they kind of understand that these are games that we really have to win. And so just, and I think it's shown a lot with our practices, and just how we prepare for the games, just how intentional we've been, how good we've been locked in, to the scout, and just everything game plan wise. And then just being able to transfer that over into the game and kind of, you know, be able to work our game plan in and win those games has been huge for us. And so we're definitely, a team right now that still has high hopes of kind of getting in the tournament. We know we need to win some games, and so we're definitely ready to tackle those games.
Yeah, to talk about tackling those games, obviously we'll look ahead a little bit here. First one, you have Baylor, and on Thursday night. You guys have already seen them twice. Obviously, that's the case of every game you would have in the Big 12 tournament. I don't know how often right off you guys have played the same team 3 times in a year, but what are some challenges whenever that happens? A third time, and what are some things you can take from the first 2 games into this one? How much can you look? How much do you look back, and how much is it kind of trying not to overthink too much the last 2 and make it a fresh slate going into the third time?
Man, just, obviously third time you're playing a team, it's almost like you know exactly what they're going to do. And so a lot of times it eventually just comes down to guarding your man and playing one-on-one basketball and getting rebounds and, trying to score more points than the other team. And so I think that that's kind of what it comes down to against these guys. I think that Baylor probably knows us just as well as we know them. And so at the end of the day, it's just going to come down to, one-on-one basketball. It's going to come down to ISO basketball. And so we just gotta lock in, make sure we're guarding, being solid. But no, Baylor's a good team. I think they're down 1 or 2 key guys. And so, just like us, we're down a key guy. And, I think that the matchup is going to be pretty, back and forth. And I think Oklahoma State just got him, and so there's no doubt that we can go win this game. So we're really excited. Coach has got us feeling good, and we're really excited for this one.
Yeah, I think just adding on to that, and I mean they're a very good team. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But it's funny when we start scouting teams, we go back and watch the past 2 times that we've played them. And just watching those games, we're all just, sitting there just kind of kicking ourselves because I think we had 25 turnovers in one of the games and then 19 in the other, which is, obviously incredibly high. And so we're not going to win many games turning the ball over like that. And so we've been, very intentional about just taking care of the ball. And then, like Tanner said, just kind of guarding your yard is what kind of the terminology that we use. But just kind of being able to stay in front of your man, have a little bit of resistance, make things difficult, and then also being a good teammate, being in the right spot at the right time, and kind of helping out, our teammates. And so, that's been huge. I mean, obviously, like I said, Baylor's a great team, and but I think a group like us, a group of guys who's obviously the underdog in a situation like this, who's probably been counted out by a lot of people, can be really dangerous this time of year. I mean, all that really matters is, the belief that we have in our locker room. And so we know that's strong, and we kind of tune out the people that are counting us out a little bit, and we're excited to go and hopefully, make something happen on Thursday.
So road trips are one thing, but tournaments are a whole other animal. And we all love the games. We all love sitting courtside. You guys love playing in the games. But the best memories that I've ever made in basketball, covering college basketball, were at the team hotel, or not the team hotel, but the media hotel, in the hospitality room, hours after the game. Maybe you're sitting at press row, or you're chatting up your friends from another newspaper or whatever it is, another radio station, whatever, and you're making these memories. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is take me through that process. Road games are one thing; you get to bond as a road team. But when you're on the tournament with your guys, you're on the road for an entire week. Hotels, restaurants, you got bus trips. You go through some things that nobody else went through, whatever it is, whether it's your bus got stuck or, stuff happens. How much are you guys able to bond as a team? How much does that really enhance the experience of being a college athlete?
I think it's been, I think it's been awesome. I mean, honestly, I think for a lot of our guys, it brings us back to the AAU days where you're traveling around the country and you're playing a game every day. and you're staying in the same hotel on the same floor as all your teammates, and it's funny because you can hear, we're up till midnight, whatever time we go to bed, doors on our floor are constantly banging, shut and close. And so guys are just in and out of everyone's rooms and just kind of hanging out with each other. We have a couple of guys who bring their consoles. And so there's a lot of Madden games and 2K games that go on. And so, I think that's a big part of our team too, is just kind of coming together. And then, sharing meals is we actually just, we had a team meal tonight with all the coaches and stuff. And it's cool to look around and just see how loud the room is. Everyone's just talking, laughing, and stuff like that. There's no one just buried into their phones and doing that. And so that's been really cool to see, and just how kind of bonded this group has become, and how good of friends we are off the court, and just how how much we just like each other. I mean, we like hanging out with each other, and we do a lot of stuff together. I mean, we spend 7 hours a day in the gym together. So it's kind of, it brings some challenges when there's, a little bit of bad blood, but it's, this is one of those teams that just has none of that. And so it's been really cool to be a part of.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that, we started out this journey back in June as, a group of guys that, only a handful of guys knew each other, and they didn't know any of the coaching staff or anything. And so it's been kind of cool to just see, where we've come from and where we are now, just as a team. I think even, from our first tournament all the way until now, I look at the Myrtle Beach tournament that we played in at the start of the year. And, like Jake mentioned earlier, guys are, when we were at Myrtle Beach, guys are constantly on their phones, we're on our phones, everyone's just kind of sitting around. There's not a lot of talking. And, you go from that all the way till what Jake just described. We were at dinner, and, you're hearing laughing and just talking and shouting here and there, just, a team dynamic, which is just really cool. And so that just kind of goes to show, just the whole year that we've spent together, just bonding, growing closer with each other. And, this conference tournament only makes us, even that much closer. I think that conference tournament is especially, when teams get close, and when it really shows on the court, And so I just really, really enjoying this opportunity, being able to do this, and love the guys I'm doing it with too.
Okay. I have so many three follow-ups. We're going to rapid fire, clear out, take it over. Real quick, best Madden player on the team.
I was wondering the same thing. Ryan beat me to it. I was
that's
on the pick.
Jay Hill is
I think
really
Jay Hill's
good.
pretty good. I heard Jordan's pretty good as well. Yeah.
Okay, 2K.
2K. Who are you
trying to think?
It's funny because one of our student managers, Matty Carney, plays a lot with us and stuff, and so that's all he plays is 2K. He's funny. So
Jordan and Marvin are good, I think.
Okay. And then last one. This is a total problem I've never encountered, and I've always been fascinated with the perfect crew. I'm the shortest person here. I'm 5'9", not even close to a tall person. Rick Asanza, do you guys ever have trouble with, like, hey, is the bed long enough for Rick? What does that look like for the basketball team rolling into some of these tournaments?
Oh my gosh.
It's so funny because Rick is so big. I think I'm big, like 6'8", 6'9", Tanner's big, and we got some big guys, but when we stand next to Rick, he just towers over us. And so, you look at the problems that we have, like our feet are hanging off the edge of the hotel bed, and like I can only imagine the problems that Rick runs into, like how he even showers in the hotel. He's got to have I don't even know. It's unbelievable though.
Yeah, I was gonna say the worst is there's some hotels we've stayed at this year where I'm like, man, I don't even really fit in this bed, and I'm like, man, I can't imagine what Rick is going through. And then also like Jake just said, the hotel showers a lot of the times the shower head will be right here for me, and so it's I can't even imagine what it's like for Rick. That's just awful.
Yeah. Got to get Rick and Ottoman. Okay, back on track. It's postseason time. Historically, you guys are playing for a coach that has made his money in the postseason. You talk about CBI run at Loyola. You talk about Final Four, Sweet 16. Does that rub off on you guys? Do you draw any extra confidence, or are you guys even more locked in knowing hey, dial into Porter because he knows how to navigate through these knockout tournaments and how to get those championships and on beyond.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, I think we all are at a point where we kind of trust him and we know the process of everything that he goes through and just how deep that he dives into the other teams and in the scouting that he does. And so I think that's where a lot of our confidence comes from, and in his as well. And so it's been really cool to just kind of be a part of that. And we've said it all year. It's just like we just got to make it to the tournament because once we're in, anything can happen. Like we always say that if we get in, and we're whatever an 11 or put us in a play-in game, we'll be a 12 seed. We're going to be a really dangerous 12 seed to play against. And so, I think obviously that excites everybody. And it's just one of those things where we have a lot of trust in him and our coaching staff because they've been there before and they've, upset a lot of teams. And so we kind of have a lot of confidence in that. And then we have a lot of confidence in each other and our team and just kind of the way that we're playing right now. And so I think that just, if we got to make it there, and then once we make it there, anything can happen.
Yeah, no doubt. I think one of the main reasons I even decided to commit here was obviously, Big 12 school, Oklahoma. But another reason was because coach and like what he was able to do with his teams in the postseason, with Loyola Chicago and how he was able to, kind of like, I mean, not really modern day, but they're kind of like he kind of turned Loyola into what Gonzaga is doing a little bit in a smaller conference. And so, that definitely just gives me a ton of confidence. I think that, especially at this time of the year, you can tell that our guys have been more locked in. We've been playing some really good basketball the last few games, and the coaches have been, likewise, they've been locked in as well. And they put in, hours of work, if not more than the hours that we put in. They're up early every morning. They're at the offices and they stay late at night, just scouting opponents and getting scouts together, and just we're completely locked in. Those guys are locked in too, and so it's kind of a cool process. It's kind of part of the culture that Coach Mosier's built, and it just gets me excited for the opportunities that this team has ahead of us in the next few days and in the upcoming week or two. So we'll see what happens, but we're definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, and Tanner, you mentioned Loyola kind of looking like a mini Gonzaga. They punched their ticket to the tournament again the other day, so I'm sure Porter's excited about that. Has he said anything to you guys? Do you know how much he keeps up with Loyola? I assume he watches them all the time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of those guys that still work there are his obviously really close friends and stuff like that. And so I'm sure he keeps up with them, but
sure,
he tries to kind of keep the Loyola guys out of it and focus on our team, which I think the players kind of like that. I mean,
for sure,
it's hard for a head coach to come in and to a new program and start referencing, oh, Loyola, we did this and our guys did this and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's it kind of puts him in a weird situation and maybe creates a little whatever against the players and the coaches. And so whatever, he's done a really good job about kind of keeping them out of it and just kind of focusing on our team. So
yeah, no, I think. Yeah, I mean, I think that Coach, he's done, like Jake said, he's done a good job. But, yeah, it kind of reminds me of, for guys like us, kind of like it's kind of hard not to keep track with, those guys. You spend so much time with them in the previous years that it's like, you gotta check in on those guys, ask them how they're doing. Jake and I are constantly, asking our former teammates that are, now from Eastern Washington, now at Portland, or still at Eastern, or elsewhere. And so, same situation. You're always checking in on those guys and making sure they're doing all right and wishing them the best of luck. But no, I think Coach, like Jake said, Coach has done a great job with that and just bringing the culture over and emphasizing it to the guys. So.
Absolutely. I don't know how it could happen, or I don't know the way it would have to play, but if Oklahoma and Loyola could play somehow in the postseason, that would just be so awesome. That's probably a dream matchup. That'd be great. I did have one thing I wanted to ask you guys about, kind of backtracking to the road trips thing. Just obviously, season's winding down here. You guys are in Kansas City this week. You hope you have another one, somewhere next week, obviously for the big tournament. But just curious, you guys have obviously done the Big 12 circuit. You did Orlando, Myrtle Beach. Auburn. What are like the best places you went to this year? It doesn't have to just be like the game day, just like your favorite trips you had this season or in your first year at OU.
Well, that's a really kind of a hard question because it's like
Right.
we fly in the night before the game, and then we obviously don't really leave the hotel much, and then we go to the game, and then literally right after the game we shower up on a bus to the airport, and we're home. And so we're spending like less than 24 hours in these towns that we go to. And so I would say for me, probably obviously Myrtle Beach was pretty awesome. I mean, I've been to the beach obviously on the West Coast, but the East Coast beach was pretty dang cool to see and be a part of. And we had a huge, our family came down, and we had a huge kind of group of people come down with my parents that rented some condos down on the beach. And so, we got to spend a little bit of time with them and kind of see a different part of Myrtle Beach that was pretty dang cool. And so I would say that was definitely my favorite.
Yeah, I think Myrtle Beach was great. I think we literally, like Jake just said, we literally had, I think, 20 people come to our games just like within our family and our group. It was super cool.
I remember that. Yeah.
And so yeah, that was awesome. But I think that playing at Auburn was also really cool. Kind of a little bit of a fun fact here, diverging in a different direction. But I think when I was in like first or second grade, my dad bought me like NCAA 04 for my PS2. And at the time, the tiger was my favorite animal. And so I would always play mascot games where every player is dressed up like the mascot.
Yes.
I would always be the Auburn Tigers because they were like number 2 or 3 in the nation at the time. And so I would literally play with them. And ever since then, Auburn has kind of been like one of my favorite NCAA football teams. And so just kind of going to that campus and, driving by the football stadium and seeing that whole thing was pretty cool. And so I would say there or Myrtle Beach, definitely.
For sure. I loved the Arizona State Sun Devil, the devil guy. That was always my good one.
Yeah.
You could do it on football.
There were some hilarious
mascot games.
Oh, it's amazing.
I remember watching Stanford's mascot's like a tree, and so there were Christmas trees running around.
Yeah, 99 speed.
Oh yeah, you got Syracuse. The oranges were running around. There's some good ones.
Love it.
Western Kentucky. Nobody knows what he is.
Oh, that big blob.
Oh yeah.
Sir, it's
it always go. These conversations always go back to video games, don't they? So let me ask you this: the Eagles play tomorrow afternoon. We talked about Loyola. Forget Loyola. Eastern Washington and the Big Sky start tomorrow. Are you guys going to have kind of one eye on some of that a little bit?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, we'll definitely try to tune in if we can. We watched all the 2 Portland games when they play the WCC tournament. We watched both their games, and so watched some of our buddies play, and we'll definitely probably try to tune into the Eastern game if we don't have practice or anything going on. Then we'll definitely get it up on the computer or something.
Yeah,
find
absolutely.
a way.
So the biggest story on the OU campus right now probably is the energy around the new football coach. The second biggest story is probably the softball team, number 1 in the country. They're 16-0. They're run ruling everybody, it seems.
Yeah.
And they've got a player who's going to set the all-time career home run record. You guys have a little bit of history with this team. Tell me about I've done this before, and when I did it, it was impossible. I was one of the only people in the media to even get a bat on a ball, as you're coming through the strike zone. It's like, barely hear it hit the bat, but I did it. I was so proud because I was one of the only ones. You guys took BP against the Sooner pitchers. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that was right before the season started. That was a lot of fun. Obviously, we went to the softball field and had a little practice with them, and just kind of, a lot of our guys have never played baseball, but some of them, took it kind of seriously and were kind of getting into it and are into that stuff. And so I was all for it. I mean, obviously I love that, but it was very eye-opening for a lot of us. I mean, just how incredibly good those girls are, just from watching them taking BP and literally taking every ball over the fence, like over the bleachers in the stands. Like, it just unbelievable, like power and stuff like that. And then we got our turn, obviously, with just a little bit of slow pitch. Just one of their coaches behind the L screen just kind of tossing us balls. And so we had some guys that were taking them over the fence and that were pretty good, getting some hits and stuff like that. And then they brought out the real pitchers, and that was a mess. That was a mess. It was, yeah, there were not many people that even touched the ball, even remotely close. And so it was very eye-opening for a lot of us, me especially. I mean, just a ton of respect for those girls just because they're so good at what they do, obviously. And it's just like, it's unbelievable how you can see a ball coming in that fast and be able to react on it like that. And I mean, I guess it's probably a lot harder for a guy with a 6'9" strike zone, and so the pitcher was probably looking at me like, yeah, it's going down. And so it was a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. That was a lot of fun. It was just kind of hilarious seeing, some of the other guys go up to bat, and you can just kind of tell the guys that have only played basketball their whole lives, or never been out on the diamond. It's pretty hilarious to kind of see. So Jake and I have some experience. We weren't the best. I think I was placed out in outfield the whole time when I was I think in the elementary school was the last time I played baseball. But yeah, no, those girls are just awesome. They're studs, and yeah, they're unbelievable. It was just really cool to see how good they are, and just see that championship standard that coach has kind of built, and just how all those players have bought in, and now national champs last year, and they're on I think number one in the country right now, and just absolutely killing it. And so yeah, those girls are just really like studs, and so it'll be kind of fun to see where their season takes them this year. I'm excited to once our season's over, I'm excited to go catch a couple games for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. One thing you learn taking batting practice in softball is do not quit your day job. So hard to hit that ball.
No
You don't have an appreciation for it. It's so close to home plate and it gets on you so quick. So
yeah, that's another thing that was crazy to us is I was expecting I don't know what the MLB pitch is from, like 9 bases are like 90 feet or so, and so I was expecting them to be a little ways away, and they were literally like on top of us. So I was like, "There's no chance I'm touching this ball."
Well, listen, Tanner, Jacob, we are on to the postseason. Hard to believe that the postseason is here. As I said, you guys are in Kansas City right now, so tip-off in a couple of days from when we're recording this. I can't wait. Big 12 tournament starts for y'all on Thursday night. We're excited to see how it all shakes out for you guys, for sure.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're excited to see what we can do, and we know that we're capable of a lot of great things, and so we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again to Trade Pros for sponsoring the Groves Bros on the SI Sooners podcast. Y'all need to give those guys a call, 405-639-9991 for all your heating and air needs, or just go to tradeprosokc.com and be back here next Wednesday, as Tanner and Jacob join us for another exclusive segment with the Groves Bros. As always, you can listen to that one and all episodes of the SI Sooners podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google, iHeart, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you've got an Amazon-enabled device, just say, Alexa, play the SI Sooners podcast. Go to our website, allsooners.com, click on the player, and listen on your phone, your tablet, or your computer. And, of course, we simulcast the video version over on my YouTube channel, John Hoover Media. We appreciate it if you could like, comment, share, rate, and subscribe. That helps us out, as you know. So for Josh Calloway, Ryan Chapman, and, of course, the Groves Bros, Tanner and Jacob, I'm John Hoover. See you guys.